American Plains Co-op Seed Department and Town & Country Supermarkets in Hoisington.
Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
It was awesome. I mean, I thought it would be no big deal. And I went into it thinking, it's just a part of it. I've been there a long time. I've retired. Yeah, they're going to do that. But when I stopped and I was preparing, what I wanted to talk about, I realized that I'd been there a long time.
Well, I think there's some things that we actually did okay in the first matchup. Obviously from a better standpoint, we need to play better one-on-one defense. Our closeouts weren't any good. There's a lot of things that we can do. And, of course, it helps if you shoot the ball better.
They wouldn't have Trent McDuffie without that Tyreek trade. They would not have Sky Moore without the Tyreek Hill trade. So, they got 2 more draft picks coming up from that deal this year. Their defense is basically a bunch of young guys with that much youth out there. And for most of that game, they were playing 3 rookies at corner.
They're a really good football team. I think that's where the energy goes. Because really, when it's kickoff, you're playing that team. It's the players that you're going against.
Talking about that underdog mentality, people always kind of count us out. We don't really need that. Like I said, people are going to be critical of your play as a professional athlete. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to prove my people right. I'm trying to prove people that believe in me and have confidence in me right. And you've been to 3 of the last 4 NFC Championship games, and you've come away empty. Tom Brady is the ultimate winner. 1 more year. It's his hometown. It makes a ton of sense even before the injury happened.
When you think about their need, the strength of their roster otherwise, the connections he has on the coaching staff, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Cincy with 6 men up on the line of scrimmage. Fake a delayed blitz. Mahomes will fire it late for the end zone. Caught! Marquez Valdes-Scantling on his backside. Touchdown! Kansas City!
Yeah, it doesn't get old. Never gets old. The Cheaters score. And they go on to beat the Bengals. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome in the Tuesday Sports Day show that will not be highlighted by Cole Reif. I need to get an office downstairs so I know who's in, who's out. Because then I heard Mike Corson again today. You did your newscast a little bit ago, and then sitting in for Cole Reif. Oh, well, I've been promoting that Cole's going to be on the show all day. Not the case.
I'm going to check real quick after this. He might be
slinking in and getting stuff ready.
We're pretty particular on who comes into the basement. So, you have to pass a stringent test.
You think you can stop me from moving my stuff down there?
Yes.
Got to give the password to the trolls.
That's right.
I don't have much stuff to move. I'm just going to pop down there. Corson's going to walk downstairs. I'm going to act like I've been down there forever.
No. You're one of the sales boys. They want to keep track of you. And every time I hear one of those Radon gas commercials, I always think of you guys down in the basement.
We got a canary. He's still chirping.
So is that how you can? You don't need to get a radon detector. You can just get a canary. It works the same way as you're in a mine.
Remind me to get some new batteries. My headlight's going. Ran into the wall this morning.
So Cole's not going to be on here. We will talk with Brock Kappelman. He is the longtime voice of the Liberal Redskins and the Seward County Saints. And Liberal's in town for homecoming this week. And I'll ask him a little bit about those games. I just want to know how he can do it. He's been broadcasting all these years in Liberal, okay? You don't have a close game unless you're going to they play Ulysses, right? Or maybe they have Hugoton on the schedule. Everything else is like 3 hours. And not only does he do high school, he does college.
Say his high school trips are his short trips.
Holy smokes. He's doing it all. He does a great job down there. Hosts the morning sports show. Anyway, Brock's A1 guy. You get to meet him Friday, Aaron.
I'm excited. The legend in his own right out there,
and
being the guy.
And his son plays quarterback, and he's on the basketball team this year. I want to know how critical you are of your. That was a dumb shot.
How many drop passes did Liberal have this year?
What's that?
How many drop passes did Liberal have this year? 6 yards over his head, and he dropped it.
Exactly. There's no parents to worry about on that one. I cannot believe he did that again. Why did he throw it there?
Well, we're gonna have to watch ourselves what we say on the broadcast when they're playing our Panthers if he's too close. Not have to criticize the point guard or whoever he is for liberal too much.
Anyway, Brock, he's going to be on the show today, and more wrestling talk today. Nathan Brockelman on to talk Lady Panther wrestling. So there you go. That's what's on the show today. And, of course, the Tuesday sports headlines and the always popular sounds of the past 24 hours, which we will begin right here. Doc Henderson, he was a guest yesterday on the Out and About show here on KVGB. He's here! Yes!
He's
okay,
listening.
Cole Reif's coming on the show today. Okay, that's awesome. He came in just to make a special appearance today for Sports Day. Doc's trainer at Barton for 41 years. As a fun discussion and inducted into the Barton Sports Hall of Fame over the weekend. You ever see those trainers that you don't want to go? I mean, young guys. You know, somebody's out there, and obviously, the player is injured, and maybe they've got a grossly, dislocated, and they go running, sprinting out there, and then they slip and fall down and slide into the person that they're trying to help. Doc was just always so calm. That was a good discussion we had yesterday.
I would say all the years going out to Barton, a gentleman doesn't disclose his age, but he's been out there the duration of my life. That's crazy to think about.
Man, you are over the hill, my friend.
Are you calling yourself a gentleman?
Oh, yeah. An old gentleman.
Okay.
Anyway, congratulations to Doc. Bill Self, what they need to do better than they did a couple weeks ago when they took on Kansas State in Manhattan. Said shooting the ball would probably be better. If you can shoot the ball a little bit better, that would probably help. It always comes down to putting the ball through the cylinder.
You stole my fire. If you put the ball in the basket more times, you'll probably win.
If you put the ball in the basket and you rebound the ball more, you're going to win. It's a lovely little...
It comes down to it, but then you get all these other things that are, well, we've got to dive on the floor to get more balls. We've got to dive for loose balls. Well, that, and you've got to put the ball through that hoop.
Just to be fair, what was it, a 1-point game last time? So 2 loose balls could yield 2 to 4 points.
I
like
that, but you don't know. You still have to put the ball through the hole.
I like for the Jayhawks, where they come out 7 and 8 in the polls this week. So on paper and based off last time, hopefully it's another good game like that.
This is interesting because, well, there's a lot of streaks on the line here. One, K-State hasn't won in Lawrence since 2006. They haven't swept a regular season series. I know they did it in 88, the Danny and the Miracles, but they didn't sweep the whole thing because KU beat them in the Elite Eight game to go to the Final Four. And I couldn't find the last time they went into a matchup where K-State was ranked higher than KU. And the other thing that's interesting about this, when was the last time they went in when you could say that K-State legitimately could be the better team? All of that stuff's out there for tonight's game.
Yeah, all those times previously, KU was the blue blood that would have been probably the better team on paper, whether K-State beat them or not. So
it's in 1 year, Jerome Tang's turned this thing around. Yeah, they get going tonight, 7 o'clock. By the way, on the always popular ESPN Plus platform tonight.
Awesome. Will KU storm the court?
That's exactly.
Or will Jerome Tang get in the crowd?
Can you see Bill Self up on the table after the game tonight?
He had fun when game day was at Lawrence for football. He put on the jacket, but
yeah. And who's Aaron Rodgers' buddy that was there for game day?
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
That was kind of an awkward interview, and then Pat McAfee took his coat off, and he was like wearing a tank top up there. Bill Self was going, dude.
It was cold. He probably wasn't sweating that much.
Wow. Big game tonight. K-State, a half game behind Texas down to Big 12 standings. Longhorns beat Baylor last night in Austin, 76-71. And Iowa State got beat by Texas Tech last night. Texas Tech gets their first victory of the conference season. Yeah, it's a gauntlet.
That was big, and then K-State beat Texas at Texas, so they're going to get him again, guessing at home. So sitting in a pretty nice spot there.
And KU needs to win, or they're going to fall out of contention to win the conference title. Although I think you could win it this year with 4 or 5, who knows, maybe 6 losses. But Texas 7-2, Kansas State 6-2, Iowa State 6-3 now. TCU's 5-3, tied with Kansas. Baylor's now 5-4. TCU's leading scorer, Mike Miles, is going to miss tonight's game with West Virginia because of a hyperextended right knee. Keep the injuries coming, boys. We want to see those fellas go down if they're not from the Sunflower State. So that's the other game tonight, West Virginia at TCU, and Oklahoma State playing at Oklahoma tomorrow in the Big 12.
And you would think somebody in Kansas could get TV rights on that. It's the highest matchup in ages, and we can't watch.
Who had that? Did you bring that up, that's part of the COVID deal?
That was coming out of COVID. That was a big part of the deal. You would think here we are 2 years later that they'd gotten that adjusted.
They're still not making up games? Well, okay.
And we could use Hescher's word. I imagine at the start of the season, maybe you would put that on plus, but flex it in.
Yeah, that's Hescher's favorite word. We're going to flex it in.
It's all about the money. There must not be enough money out there.
Okay. Good point.
That's my only one of the day.
Okay. Chiefs reporter Adam Teicher talking about how young the Chiefs roster is, especially on defense, and how that trade to Miami to get Tyreek Hill has paid off for them. And I was looking, and he was also talking about how good that draft was last year for Kansas City. They got Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, Sky Moore, Brian Cook, Leo Chanel, Josh Williams, Darian Kennard, Jalen Watson, Isaiah Pacheco. They got him in the 7th round with a 251 first pick overall, and Najee Johnson. That's not bad.
Fun fact about Pacheco, he actually has the second most rushing yards ever by a 7th rounder in their first season, in his rookie season. And he actually is behind Craig James, and James had about 70 more carries on the season than Pacheco did. And he beat him by about, James had about 150 more yards on those 70 carries. So reason to believe if Pacheco could have gotten the 225-ish carries, he could have broken that record for a 7th rounder.
170 carries, 830 yards, 5 touchdowns, got 13 balls for 130 yards. I bet James drove a better vehicle than he did when he was down at SMU, right?
Didn't he end up at Texas Tech, and he's the one that got Leach in trouble?
I mean, he was part of the Pony Express
Or
at SMU.
That was his dad. Okay, so
that was at SMU.
It was Craig James' son that was at Texas Tech. And
before your time, Mike, okay?
Yes.
Who was the offensive line on that Pony Express?
I don't know that one. I can try to go back.
No. I just wanted you to take it off the top of your head. I did.
So speaking of the youth, next year, guess who's picked to win the Super Bowl?
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Well, but like you said, the rookie class, especially those rookie cornerbacks, and that's such a tough spot to come in and play when you're young. Because
And they're all on rookie contracts.
Exactly. But you got Snead was even out against the Bengals, and we got to see Trent McDuffie, Jalen Watson, and Joshua Williams really go out there and like be the 3 starting corners. And against a good quarterback in Joe Burrow, that's hard because the level of competition that you're going up against in college again versus the NFL, the speed that NFL wide receivers have over college, the route running, the strength they have. And for those rookies that come out, we saw Trent McDuffie almost have an interception on Joe Burrow's 3rd pass of the game. Bounced off his hands, but it was still almost a terrific play by Trent McDuffie. And future's bright over there.
And the
Kansas
defensive
City.
line.
There we go.
Made him throw the ball out. Okay, the Chiefs are they're still standing. Patrick Mahomes, he needs some rehab work. Travis Kelce. Also, L'Jarius Sneed remains in the concussion protocol. Willie Gay has an injured shoulder. Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, and McCole Hardman, They ended up watching the end of that game. So, but as long as it's Patrick Mahomes, as long as has Travis Kelce. I always watch Linus in Charlie Brown, because that's kind of like Patrick Mahomes, because Linus always had his blanket, right? He always had his blanket. Well, his blankie is Travis Kelce. I don't care who you can put out.
Wait, who's Pigpen?
I don't know who would Pigpen be.
The 49ers.
Oh, okay, all right.
No, but the Chiefs would keep playing up this underdog role. They said nobody picked us. Vegas picked you, man. They didn't pick you when they thought your leg was broken.
Everybody's.
So, I get the chip, but
everybody tries to create a chip.
Yep.
I'll get to another chip in a moment. Andy Reid saying he's going against the Eagles. I don't care. Once the game starts, I don't think about it. He has won the last 6 meetings between the Chiefs and the Eagles.
So
3 of them with Philadelphia and 3 of them with the Chiefs. So he's won 6 in a row.
Has he been back to Philadelphia?
Can't remember that one.
That would be a more interesting. He might recognize it then where he was, but playing in Arizona, I don't think.
Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, where they once threw snowballs at Santa Claus at Franklin Field. Okay, this is a problem in the NFL right now. No one gets any respect. No one. Everybody plays with a chip on their shoulder. Boston Scott, Philadelphia Eagles, running back, saying he doesn't let the haters get to him. He knows that, no one thinks he's any good. Boston Scott, Philadelphia Eagles running
gentleman.
back.
He's I believe he's the 5'6" Giant Slayer. Told you, I think last week, he has 11 of his 18 career touchdowns have come against the Giants. And so we got to see that again in the divisional round. It was fun, but it's a weird stat that he only scores against the Giants.
Speaking of haters, the Apple for Cincinnati, his mom had to take down her Twitter account because of all the haters. That is silly.
It's especially Eli Apple, the cornerback for the Bengals. He talks a lot of smack, to be fair, but yeah, I saw that as well. And it's weird that his mom is why are you guys going after his mom?
They found her handle, man.
Absolute weirdo behavior.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's why all NFL players should have a flip phone. Then they don't worry about their tweeter machine going off if they do something bad in a game. John Lund, KNBR, San Francisco. Brady to the 49ers makes sense. Probably a little bit more now, and that's tough. Brock Purdy probably going to have to undergo Tommy John surgery.
Did you see what the timetable for his? It says 6 months.
Is that Eli Apple's mom, I wonder?
That flip phone.
I was going to say, mention the flip phone. Bring it up and it knows.
Exactly, the flip phone goes off. Okay.
No, I thought 6 months for Tommy John surgery seemed low, but maybe I'm just...
Maybe I'm not... Maybe it's... I don't know. It'd be... Football's heavier than baseball. But anyway, so he thinks that the 49ers may make a heavier run on Tom Brady than they did before. Diane Graziano, ESPN NFL insider. Jets the favorite for Aaron Rodgers. This is like the NBA now, right? You go try to collect the dream team as far as quarterbacks go. It's an important spot. I can see it.
I know Aaron knows the name of the offensive coordinator that used to be the quarterbacks coach for Aaron. That's the poll there for New York.
Yeah, Mike LaFleur. His brother Matt LaFleur is the head coach for the Packers.
Oh, I think
so Mike is the offensive coordinator for the Jets under Saleh.
Okay. And the play-by-play call, the Chiefs. Valdez-Scantling, 19-yard touchdown catch. Put the Chiefs up.
And I heard another good one yesterday. Mahomes. They said some of those were bad passes that were really great catches, but it's all in the call.
And that's one thing that I've kind of seen. I've seen a lot of these people talk about how everyone doubted Mahomes and he came out and won that game. And I think that really undersells some of the efforts from his teammates, especially some of the efforts we saw from the defense. From a unit that had been really pigeonholed a lot and questioned a lot this year, they stepped up really nice to help win that game. And then we saw some special teams play that 27-yard return by Sky Moore to set up the game-winning field goal. I'm just
glad he caught the ball.
Yeah, right. Mahomes played a great game, but don't don't disparage what his teammates did in that effort as well.
Mike Hesher joins the program now. Zach Greinke going back to the Royals on a 2-year contract. Our KVGB Royals insider.
It's a 2-year contract? I didn't know that.
Probably with an option.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm just...
Get an innings.
I am so not looking forward to this year.
It'll make you feel good. Just say, man, I think that's going to work out really good for Kansas City.
So
If Greinke has a great year, they can trade him at the deadline. Great year. Great.
Come on, Dr. Doom, you're coming over.
I'm going to the Dr. Doom where Corson talked about this morning on the news.
They also picked up Matt Duffy for a minor league contract. I didn't know the guy was still playing. I thought he went off into retirement with his cat.
It's a AAA team.
Yeah, he was big for the Giants way back.
Man, we have good stuff here, but Cole's here, so I need to get him in. We've got also, so you guys don't need to be here for the second segment, even though you can stick around if you want to. Chat with Cole and me. That'd be cool. Cole Reif coming up next here on Sports Day.
Farmers depend on their equipment, and equipment depends on its fuel. Cenex Premium Diesel works as hard as you do and comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster even cleans up your injectors and prevents injector fouling, so your equipment can keep firing on all cylinders to make every day a field day. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
The need for nurses is constant. Barton Community College offers practical and registered nursing programs. The affordable and challenging coursework is taught by experienced instructors who care about you and have a passion for teaching in the field of nursing. Get hands-on training in the classroom, state-of-the-art simulation labs, and at clinical sites for this high-demand field. The application deadline has been extended to March 1st. Apply online at nursing.bartonccc.edu.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
I didn't even get to open today. I didn't have it loaded in there, man. I just realized that you had not. Uh-oh, we got another one.
It sounds like some.
Yeah, jeez.
Got some punk rock up on this station.
Yeah, we've got it going here today. Cole Reif joining us here on the program. You can come in today, man.
I wouldn't miss this. No matter what's going on in the morning, like I'll always be here for Sports Day.
Doc Henderson, we had him yesterday morning here on the Out and About show. If there's ever a guy that would, if you were laying there and you thought you were really hurt bad, he could just be so calm and say, "Oh, my leg didn't get torn off."
You got like torn MCL, your meniscus is, your kneecap's like down in your calf, like the old Patrick Mahomes injury. And Doc would go over there and be like, "You're gonna be all right. Let's take you back over to the trainer's table." Yeah, he's the man. But he actually brought that up once. I don't know if it was I don't know when I was talking to him, but he's like, that was one of my objectives, was to always stay calm no matter what the situation was, because he's like, it does no good for that student athletes, if you're freaking out or you got wide eyes, looking at an injury. So that was a smart man. 41 years, he's got a lot of tricks, and it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go into an emergency room and the guy comes in and says, "Good Lord, look at that freaking leg." Oh,
yeah.
So that's very important. Anyway, congratulations to Doc. That was a good night all around for the Barton Cougars on Saturday night. Hall of Fame day, Hall of Fame evening. They beat Hutch twice, and for the Barton men, they sweep the season series from them.
Yeah, that's
so far anyway.
That's it. Yeah, maybe they meet up in the postseason. Who knows? I mean, in the way things are going, you could see pretty good team down toward the bottom of the standings and going on the road. So who knows what's going to happen in the standings? But that was a solid win. I thought they looked really, really sharp. Cougar Downing was playing with a heavy heart. Found out he lost his brother the day before. And it's been a rough stretch for the Downing family, because remember about the same time last year they lost his dad. So for him to go out there and put up 28 points, kind of cool. But then, and they continue to play well without Joey. I mean, they're figuring things out. I think we're finding out Rutice is pretty good. He just didn't have as big of a chance early on in the season. It'd still be nice to have Joey in that lineup for sure. But yeah, now Emmy's going to get better. So if he does get back, man, I would like kind of see both of them play at the same time. If Joey could get back and also be conditioned and pick up where he left off, and then have Emmy on the other block, that'd be pretty nice if you want to go to a little bit bigger lineup. Which
they're big anyway. I mean, for the most part.
Yeah, they got length. I mean, you talk about Mose, at point guard at 6'7". That's a pretty lengthy point guard. So yeah, they got some size. I mean, Cougar's not overly tall by any means. Emmy not Emmy, but when Amir subs in, you lose a little bit. But yeah, they have some length. So yeah, it was a nice win, sitting good. Now you're tied for fourth, with Garden City. So you're right back in the hunt to get that, not only a home game, but hopefully a bye. But like we said, there's still a lot of ball to play.
And this team has been, a Lucy Charlie Brown team, right? I mean, Lucy says, okay, kick the football on these guys. I won't pull it away. So they go to Independence now.
Should be a win. I mean, you got to go out there and win. I mean, it's Indy. You're on the road. We talked about a long road trip. That's never easy. But
they just get back in time to do that because I think they played at Colby.
Yeah, they played Monday night.
Okay.
They played just last night. So hopefully they're just driving back into Indy right about now. So yeah, hopefully you can go out and get a win. I mean, you're talking about a 500 team that's had their struggle. I don't think Indy has won a home game in the new year. I think their last home win was in early December. So they haven't played extremely well on their home floors. So hopefully Barton can continue that streak. And then on the women's side, you're sitting kind of in the same boat. Indy has kind of continued to have their struggles. Picked up a win against Colby last night, but other than that, I think it's definitely winnable games that you have to go out and take care of business.
Sometimes polls don't make sense, I mean, they're nice to have, but I was glad to see that even though Butler's a game ahead, ahead of the Cougars in the standings, Barton's 20 and Butler's 21.
Yeah, I mean, you got the head-to-head win at their place.
Well, exactly.
So hopefully that holds a little bit of weight. I mean, obviously, if there's any more stumbling going on, Butler's going to leapfrog. I mean, they're surging right now. But you go back to, how good Butler is. I still think Hutchinson on the women's side will finish probably third. That's really where I peg them at. So for Barton to go out and get that win, yeah, they had to hold on. But for them to go out and get a win, that was a Hutch team playing really well. They had won 7 straight games coming into Great Bend. So to get that quality of type of win, especially when you needed it. Those previous 3 games were kind of rough. Even the win against Garden City, it wasn't overly sharp. Then you get blasted at Cali. Just got ambushed in that game. So, yeah, that was a much-needed win against a quality team.
How's Morgan Myers been playing? She played pretty good Saturday.
Yeah, her shot's been up and down. I think that's the biggest thing with Myers. I mean, I told Coach Clark this. I think she's the X factor. Like, you know what you're going to get from Kirchhoff. You know what you're going to get from Jenny. You know what you're going to get from Michaela Hall. And Corey Lard, for the most part, when she's, under control, not turn the ball over, you kind of know what you're going to get. Myers is that one girl that has this incredible amount of talents, but has struggled to shoot the ball from time to time. And when she gets in a rhythm, I think that's the difference maker, because she has that moxie. Like, she has that swagger, if you will, that she can go out there and just make a play. If she wants to step back, hit a 3, like, she has that ability. So if she can get on, Barton's pretty tough. So she went 4 for 5 shooting. I think as a team they went 7 for 11 from outside. So yeah, that Morgan to me is the difference maker. What makes Barton good to great.
Alan Clark was in here yesterday, and his comment about the sterile environment of Independence set off a great conversation about when he played and went down there. The men's team's coming off. They just won the national championship. Barton played him down there, and there wasn't anybody there. He was talking about the sterile environment where they'll have to pump up themselves tomorrow.
Yeah, you talk about trying to find your own energy, right?
Yeah.
But Indy does still have the nicest bench seats. They have by far the best bench.
I know, but they lure you in. There's no one in the stands. You got comfortable seats.
They're fancy. I mean, like each individual player has their own lazy boy down there. No, it's not like cream of the crop, lazy boy type material, but it's still middle of the line type of seating. So, yeah, it's really, really nice. And now I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to fit my legal size sheet in my little crow's nest up there, and that just ticks me off.
That thing's rickety, man. There were termites eating on that thing 30 years ago when I did a game down there.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to bag on them, but Indy's probably the one college that you can tell there's not a whole lot of attention to details.
Again, it's one of the schools that's outside of town, but but then you've got to go down this tree-lined road to get it's not It's off the beaten path.
It is off the beaten path. I mean, usually I go up to that crow's nest. There's like a year-old Mountain Dew bottle, spinning around up there. Or there's, a few popcorn bags that are left over from the game before. Indy is just the least desirable place to go to. One, because of the facility, but then also because it's a long trip.
Yes, it is. It is. Cole Reif with us here. Okay, you're kind of you have said before you're not a fan of, because you're kind of a traditional guy, kind of when it comes to basketball, right? So you're not a big fan of Tony DeSalm's style.
Tommy
right?
DeSalm,
Tommy, yeah.
Yep.
So are Hutch fans?
His first year last year, no, they weren't. I mean, even they were winning. I mean, they were.
That's what I mean. So
top
now
10
you go out
team.
there and you're throwing that out there again. They lost 130 to 126 to Pratt.
Yeah, overtime game, and then obviously the style that we saw, this past Saturday night, it's just not the same personnel. They don't have the same personnel that they had. They had a lot of talent his last 2 years at Cali. Last year, Angelo Stewart, they're hitting at a better clip. But, they look at the stat sheet a lot different. I mean, if you've ever kind of dived into that style, those types of coaches, they don't really care about your shooting percentage. They don't necessarily care about the turnovers you're going to give. They care about offensive rebounds. Can you shoot more threes than the other team? And then how many turnovers that you force the other team. Those are like the main categories that they look at. It's just a whole different mindset. And I can't blame the guy. I mean, he's 40-16 in his 2 years at Hutch. Like, so overall, yeah, this is an off year.
But the stat that means more than anything else right now is 8-8 in conference play.
I would agree. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world right now. By Hutch standards, yeah, that's down. But, they're not the worst team out there. I would just be so curious, especially with this year's team. And they got a freak in Rayshon Frederick. Aaron Franklin's one of the best players in the entire country. I would just be curious if he went back to his old Cali days for this year's team and how they would play in a half-court style team. I think they'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
I think they'd be really good. But, like, when do you say, okay, hey, we can't do this anymore. This is failing. Let's go back. Do you revert? Or is it just like, hey, this is on this year's team? Because, I mean,
Well,
Cali
if you're
women
thinking
did
about it. I'm sure that he's got to, doesn't he? Or just is that admit failure and you're not gonna
I think so. I think that's a tough call. But, I mean, it's just so hard to judge this 1 year because you have a lot of respect for Tommy and what he does and his ability, his coaching ability. So it's just like he's probably going to figure it out. And maybe not this
in
year.
time.
I don't think this year's team is going to figure it out. I really don't.
Well, they don't got a big buyout contract with him, I don't think.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just feel like they could bounce back and have one of those super Hutchinson teams, next year. I mean, that's how easy it can be done at the JUCO level. So I don't know. I don't enjoy it, and part of me enjoys seeing the failure of it this year. Not for Tommy. I like Tommy, but like just as far as that style and what they've done over the past, like part of me is kind of enjoying just say, hey, you want to run and gun, foul 30-plus times, and you want to shoot 40-plus free throws, well, this is on you. So it's just nice it's finally turned the other side.
Will Fletch wear red or blue when he comes back leading the Blue Dragons into the Kirkman next year?
Oh, man. I would imagine you'd stay with blue, right? Like he would come in with blue. You don't want to wear red. Dark side.
Brock Kappelman's coming up. You'd stick around in there if you want to.
Well,
talk to
I do
Brock.
want to say you haven't talked to him yet, right? So he's coming up next?
Yeah, well, you can stay in here. Well, he's on next.
Just congratulate him. I found out he was inducted. He's going to be Hall of Fame for Seward County. So
is that right?
Yeah. So you talk about a guy that deserves it.
Oh, my gosh.
20-plus years. I think he got there in like 1999 there in Liberal. So, yeah, there's like 2 or 3 other people with him, but he's going to be inducted, I think, sometime in February for Seward County Community College.
He's been there 20 years now? It seems
more
like
than
it's
that.
been
I think
longer
99,
than...
so it's 24 years maybe.
99?
I think it was 99.
I think it's been down there longer than that.
98, 99, somewhere around there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so congratulate him.
Well, you can stick.
I got news to do. I got boring jobs.
Yeah. Get down in the basement. Yeah. Hey, have you seen those radon PSAs down there? You guys need to check that out.
There's a few other things, maybe like termites and rodents and critters.
Brown recluses. Okay.
I got a contract with Skinny. He's going to come by here and check things out.
We don't have gophers, man. Cole Reif, Brock Kappelman coming up next.
You don't have to be a tech expert to enjoy the latest devices. Get a Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus or iPhone 14 Pro Max half off at Nex-Tech Wireless. Not only are you getting a great deal on those devices, you're also getting them with a great customer service guarantee. We'll help you get your information transferred from your old phone and help you learn the ins and outs of your new phone. Nex-Tech Wireless.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Superior Essex of Hoisington has 2 new exciting career opportunities available for a manufacturing supervisor and a maintenance planner scheduler. There are also production associate opportunities available. Superior Essex offers outstanding wages, and they also offer a competitive benefits package including Blue Cross Blue Shield, Delta Dental, 401k with company match, vacation, and holiday pay, plus a sign-on bonus up to $5,000. Are you the right person for the job? Apply at any Kansas Works office or at superioressex.com.
It's the Maytag January clearance sale at Boone's Maytag. Save on the dependability and quality you've come to expect from Maytag with huge discounts on all Maytag appliances. All washing machines, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, ranges, microwaves, and freezers are on sale. Hurry in now for the best selection and get 0% financing for 12 months. See store for details.
You can't buy better than Boone's. Be our guest.
Boone's and Maytag. Depend on us. 10th and Jackson, Great Bend. See us on the web at boonsmaytag.com.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back. Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Our next guest, been a while since he's been on Sports Day. That was before Sports Day 2 was rolled out. The voice of the Liberal High School Redskins, Seward County Saints, Brock Kappelman, joining us on the program. Brock, I don't know whether to congratulate you first on joining the 5 Million Mile Club or, or being inducted into the Seward County Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations, my friend. Very deserving honor for you. And, man, this is breaking news here in Great Bend. It just happened today, right?
Yeah, it came out. The release came out yesterday. So very excited about it, honored. And, I mean, what can I say? I'm carried by these programs that have been so successful here at Seward County. And when the programs are successful, people listen. So that helped a lot.
How many games have you done? When did you start down there?
You know, I started working here in 1998, right after college, University of Kansas, and came out here to replace another Jayhawker, Holden Kushner. And I came out here for that first year, and I didn't know how long I was going to be here. Turns out this is 26 years now. Webby, I married a liberal girl. She's the head principal at Liberal High School. So this is definitely home, and I love it here. And I love going to Great Bend, Dodge, Garden, Hayes, all over the WAC, and talking with so many people I've met throughout the years. That's probably my most fun part of the job, working with guys like you and Randy and Patrick and Cole. A big part of it.
But, okay, so when Fort Hays State got in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, there's no way. You know, because I think Durango, Colorado is closer than what Coffeyville is from Liberal, okay? And there's no way I could do college and high school. You've been doing that for your entire career down there. How do you do it?
I've had to have help because, fortunately, our sports information director at Seward, he came in with a radio background, Kenny Hernandez.
Okay.
And, Roy Allen before, I kind of worked with him, and he was a natural, and he picked up on how to do some radio. And we had Tracy Utes here, who, he's retired now, but while he was, I would, jerk his arm a few times and get him to do some games. So, and then sometimes I get a feed. Cole given me plenty of feeds. Patrick has too. Randy, we've gotten plenty of feeds from people too. But it works out most of the time. But sometimes they do double up with each other. But yeah, it's weird. You go to Coffeyville and Independence, as you mentioned, and it's a very similar drive for some of our non-conference road trips that I take to, for instance, Hobbs, New Mexico. It's actually a pretty similar drive.
Okay, so I've always been curious here because, so you're going to Coffeyville. Do you take the 160 route, or how do you go to Coffeyville from Liberal?
Well, it depends on what all I have going. I think Coffeyville, I've been going through Wichita more often than not.
Okay.
But Webby, I've taken every route. There was one time going to Arc City to Cali, Region 6 baseball tournament, best 2 out of 3. Seward baseball had a down year, so we're the 8 going to play the 1 at Cali. And they had flooding rains. I took the Oklahoma route, where you go through Buffalo and Alva and Medford and, all those places. And long story short, the roads were closed due to flooding. So I end up, and I've got my son with me, and we're in a tiny little Chevy Malibu. We're driving down dirt roads that are pretty much washed out from flooding, and somehow made it to Arc City that day.
You did stop by, had your son with you. You could have stopped at Alabaster Caverns on the way by.
I know. We should have.
Brock Kappelman, Hall of Famer. I found that out yesterday. That is so cool, Brock. I've got a question. We were kind of talking when we started the show today, because what's it like to call your son's games on the radio? Because it said to be perfect, because you wouldn't have to worry about parents griping about, how negative you were on the broadcast. I said, man, that's a dumb shot. Why did he even take that? What? How's that to do your kids' games on the radio now?
That's funny you asked that, because we were in Garden City here about a month ago, and I was interviewing one of our Liberal High School girls players, Ellie Hatcher, and she asked me, what's it like calling your son's games? Because that game he was playing really well, and really it's like you pour gasoline on top of it one way or the other. So if he's playing really well, it's that much greater of a feeling, that broadcast in that game. And if he's not playing well and they take a tough loss or he has a tough game, it's that much worse. But yes, you have to learn I still got a job to do and all that, but you live and die inside with every completion, every touchdown, every interception, every miss, every make, every strike 3, every swing and a miss. You live and die with every one. Yeah, which really, this, you do with all the kids, really, but then you take it times however many when it's your kid.
Yeah, anybody's had kids in any activity. You get more nervous for that than you ever did for yourself.
Yes.
I think it'd be even weirder, Brock, if you were interviewing him. And we're talking with Brooks Kappelman here on the pregame show. Did you clean your room up last night like your mother told you to, or did you?
Well, if that's what I need for leverage, I'll take it to get some stuff done.
You'll be on the pregame show some. You got to mow the yard. You're going to be the featured athlete today. Brock Kappelman with us here, voice of the Liberal High School Redskins and the Seward County Saints. Going to be in town on Friday. So tell me about this Liberal girls team. Boy, they had a lot of success down there over the years. And tell me about this year's edition that will come in. You've got a game at Hooker, Oklahoma tonight, or at home against Hooker, I guess. But
yeah, home tonight.
Yeah, so tell me about this team and your thoughts on they won a last-second shot down at, I think, Guyman last week. So tell me about this team we'll see on Friday night.
Yeah, I love this team, but this isn't a team of just roll out the basketball out of the rack and go play and go have another 25-point win. This team has to do it more in a blue-collar way. They have to do it with defense. They need their defense to create some offense because shooting, they've been an off-and-on offensive team. And that's what happened the other night at Guyman. They shoot 28% in that game. Same thing happened to them in Dodge City here a few weeks ago. They lose a game 32-29. Primarily their offense has been great, but but it's been up and down here as of late, and a lot of that you just go play in tough road venues. I mean, Guyman and Liberal, for those of you in Great Bend who don't know, it is a rivalry, just 40 miles away, and they get after you there at Guyman, and it was struggle bus throughout the night, and then its last possession got the ball down 2, and our junior Kiana Hall hit a 3 from the right corner and secured the win. And it did feel like you probably stole one, probably got away with one. But in terms of the overall program, you guys know Carter Kruger, of course.
Yep.
All he did is come to Liberal and win 81% of his games, go 96-18. His last season was a 23-0 season. He's assistant principal at Liberal High School now. Well, his assistant, Brandy Fowler's done a great job stepping in. She's in her 3rd year as head coach, and that she's really big on team culture, and she's, the program's barely skipped a beat here the last few years.
Yeah, you're talking about Kiana Hall. That was a heck of a shot because she posed for that shot from the corner of the game on the line. They're down by 2. She kept her hand out there in the old gooseneck, and it nothing but the bottom of the net. That was pretty cool.
And you know what's cool? That it's all high school sports. It's learning labs for all these kids. She had been 0 of 6 from 3 in that game.
Man,
she finished 1 of 7.
Well, and the boys team. Tell me about this Kappelman kid's any good?
He actually is playing his best basketball that he's played. They're struggling as a team, but what's happened with him is he has grown a lot. So he's kind of got a different body to run around with than what he's had in the past, where he was kind of a perimeter, try to make a few 3-pointers kind of guy, and now he's rebounding much better now. So they have a couple junior posts who have kind of led the way for them. Zayden Martinez, who's about 6'4", averages a double-double, and then Brooks is a junior, about 6'2", and he's averaging 8.7 rebounds a game. But they've had a tough year to be sure. 2-10 going into their game with Hooker tonight.
Brock, I can't wait to see you Friday night and at the field house, and can't wait to call that Kappelman kid's name. I'll give him a dunk or two if you give me some extra cash, okay?
Well, he's got his old man's genes in him there, so he's not getting up. He's not getting up that high. But no, it'll be great. Can't wait to get there. Love calling games there. What a great venue.
Yep, sure is. Brock Kappelman with us. Brock, see you Friday. And
see you Friday.
We'll take a break. More Sports Day coming up.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
When you need to get rid of the pain, you want the best. You need to see Dr. Dan Quillen at Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Dr. Dan is Barton County's only board-certified clinical specialist in orthopedic physical therapy. No matter your age, when it hurts, he will help. Call Dan at 620-282-4825. That's 282-4825. Excellence driven, unrivaled results. Catalyst Therapy and Sports Rehab. Inside the field house at 9th and Madison in Great Bend.
The need for nurses is constant. Barton Community College offers practical and registered nursing programs. The affordable and challenging coursework is taught by experienced instructors who care about you and have a passion for teaching in the field of nursing. Get hands-on training in the classroom, state-of-the-art simulation labs, and at clinical sites for this high-demand field. The application deadline has been extended to March 1st. Apply online at nursing.bartonccc.edu.
Sports Day presents On the Prowl with Mike Corson, an inside look at all the sports taken at Great Bend High School.
Welcome back to Sports Day, 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. Mike Corson joined once again for the Tuesday chat with Panther wrestling coach Nathan Brockelman. The boys were down in Garden City and the girls were up in Topeka this weekend for another big tournament.
Yeah, we decided to finally try to get out to the eastern side of the state so we can kind of see what the rest of the state looks like for when we get to the state competition, because we don't really get to see much of the eastern Kansas schools other than any that kind of come down for our Christmas clash, and that's pretty early in the season. So wanted to get the girls an opportunity to see, completely different competition as well as seeing some of the eastern schools.
Lady Panthers finished 12 overall out of 33 teams. So kind of what struck me is a lot of pool matches, and a lot of the girls went 2-0, but then didn't maybe finish as high as you wanted.
Yeah, so a lot of these brackets were 16 or 24-man scrambles is what they're called. And so what they do is, just depending on if it's 16 or 24, if you get put in a pool of 3 kids, and if you win the pool, you go for either first through fourth or first through eighth. Just depends on if it's 16 or 24. And if you win one and lose one, you go for 9 through 16. And if you lose both of them, unfortunately, you're done for the day. And we did have 2 girls that, unfortunately, that happened to. And it's kind of stinks too, because our 115-pounder Hannah Crafthorn was wrestling really, really good, really tough. She lost to this Pequawash Monroe girl 11-8, and from what I gathered, we kind of got thrown at the end of the match to lose that match, and then we lost to the Blue Valley Southwest girl 7-5. And I went to kind of looked at the brackets, and so those are pretty close matches, pretty tight matches, and both of those girls won their first match in the bracket play. So if we would have been in a different pool with Hannah, she might have been in the top 8 even, or maybe even the top 16. If the girl that beat us 7-5, I think since she won her first match, that means she finished in the top 4. So if we were in a different pool, who knows? We could have been top 4 as well if we could have just been placed a little bit differently.
And one of your wrestlers that continues to perform well led the way. So Daisy Gomez is ranked number 3 at 125, and she's got those losses to top-ranked De La Rosa girl of Dodge City. She has a couple quick pins under a minute, but her reward is going up against second-ranked Addison Brocksterman, who wins 6-1 for the title.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go back and look at the match on film. But I was talking to my coaches we sent up to Washburn as I was down in Garden City this weekend. But sounds like we couldn't get to our shot. Daisy's been struggling a little bit of getting to her shot, which is stuff we've been kind of working on and trying to get her back to, because when she's confident in her shot, she's deadly on her feet. But she was not too confident against Brocksterman, and we've kind of noticed that with Daisy. Sometimes when she's going up against another highly ranked opponent that she's not too confident against, that she doesn't go find her shot, and it's something that we're going to have to fix if she wants to try to compete for a state title between now and the end of February. So there's no doubt in my mind that Daisy can't do that. We just got to be able to get her back on her shots and get her back to having confidence against those tough girls.
Talking to Lady Panther wrestling coach Nathan Brockelman. The other big one was Kira Stevens at 155, 5th place. So she's winning, but her only real loss came against the top-ranked girl from Oskaloosa from the Class 4 1A.
Yeah, that was kind of another thing where, we won our pool, and unfortunately, the way we matched up, we matched up with one of the top-ranked girls in the bracket. I think she was the number 2 seed, and we're in a different pool. Maybe we're in the top 4 instead of the top 8, considering we took 5th. She gutted out a nice overtime victory and picked up another 4-3 victory. So she's pinning girls, she's winning tight matches, and she's kind of been on the verge of starting to peak really well and wrestle really tough. So hopefully she can continue that and maybe punch herself a ticket to state and maybe surprise some girls at state as well.
Couple 6th place finishers, Kaylee McMullen at 120, once again 2-0 in pool matches, and then Haley Halinde at 235 in kind of a small bracket, and then injury time in that one for her 5th place finish.
Yeah, so Kaylee took 6th. Both her losses are, I believe the Weber girl from Shawnee Mission West is a top 6 girl. And I know the Garcia Campos girl was a state qualifier last year, so both her matches against top girls in her bracket. And then Haley banged her shoulder up a little bit in her 2-1 win, I believe, over the Baser Linwood girl. So we had to kind of the trainer look at her, and she's struggling a little bit to kind of lift that shoulder up. And if you can't really lift your arm up, it's kind of hard to wrestle. So we just set her precautionary, just to kind of make sure we can get her back home, sit her a little bit if we need to, and hopefully get her ready for regional.
And Carly Stuckey, I know got to watch her at home, but she's ran into some tough competition, more tough competition up there. So she finishes 7th at 105, but loses to another top-ranked kid from Oskaloosa.
Yeah, Carly wrestled pretty well. She did lose to the Oskaloosa girl in our pool play, so we kind of got placed with the number 1 or number 2 girl in the bracket. But then we were able to pick up a girl over the Olathe West girl, who I believe was might have been a state qualifier last year, or close to. I know she wasn't at our tournament, I don't think, but The name kind of sounded familiar when we were kind of looking at brackets at pool play when the brackets released, and was able to come back and pick up a fall for 7th and 8th place.
And then maybe one more here. Danica Klein opens at 2-0 at 145. And then she goes up against second-ranked Davari Johnson of Leavenworth. So she goes the distance but loses 11-5 and ends up finishing 8th.
Yeah, I think that was one of the closer matches that Johnson had during the day. Was an 11-5 match, and it was actually a 5-5 match going into third period when I was looking through some stats. And Danica wrestles well. She usually stays in pretty good position. I haven't looked at the other two losses, the Rock Creek girl or the Baser Linwood girl, but hopefully we can fix a few things. And she's kind of like Kira; they're kind of practice partners at times. So hopefully they can kind of keep grinding out wins and maybe get a couple more girls to state.
And then the girls are at home tonight against McPherson. That's the last time all your kids will wrestle at home?
Yeah, this will be the last duel at home this year. It starts at 6 p.m. It'll just be girls-only duel. McPherson is kind of banged up with some injuries, so there may only be 1 or 2 JV matches, and then we'll get right started with the varsity matches. He did kind of mention, too, that he may just bump some girls around and just be almost a full varsity duel instead of having any JV matches. So hopefully we get good crowd just with the girls coming out, and hopefully they can pick up a win on the last home meet of the season.
All right, and then the Lady Panthers head to Phillipsburg on Saturday.
Yep.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks for joining us.
We were able to get her back to where she can do her shopping without leaning on the shopping cart at all.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction. They have quite a few jobs scheduled for the new year, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Fun show today. Cole Reif on, Brock Kappelman, Nathan Brockelman, and the boys all in there to begin the show today. No rankings out from the KBCA yet, huh, Hash?
No, sir. I've not found them yet.
Okay, high school basketball tonight. Hash, you're at Heston tonight.
Correct.
Have you ever called a winning game there?
Yes, I did, actually.
Really? Okay.
This is the one. My story is Hoisington was up. I can't remember. It was Heston was shooting free throws, and I was talking because I was on the radio, and the whole arena was quiet. And this dude about 4 rows looks up. Well,
I'd love to.
Because I'm talking during the free throws.
Oh,
Hoisington won.
I've announced at people at Heston before. Yeah, because they, and they start looking back at you. And then when Hoiston beat them there, that was one. I was just like, and the Cardinals. And I'm looking right at them. They turn around. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Okay. Good luck to the Cardinals tonight. Larned at home tonight. They'll take on Nickerson. That game on Hits 106.9. Hash will be on KHOK tonight. Central Prairie League Ellenwood shouldn't have any problem staying unbeaten tonight. On the boys' side, as they will be hosting Victoria, the girls will be in action too. Otis Bison at Central Plains. The war on K4 resumes tonight. Maxville at La Crosse, South Central at Kinsley. Nest Cities at Hill City. Chase at Lincoln tonight. Pawnee Heights at Ashland. Stafford at Skyline. Western Athletic Conference. Dodge plays at Garden City. Hayes is at Scott City tonight. Hooker, Oklahoma at Liberal. And the Redskins will be in town on Friday night to take on the Great Bend Panthers. That's our show today. Talk to you tomorrow on Sports Day on KVGB.